Hi everyone, it's Sandy, and today I'm doing my February wrap-up. This month I've read 6 books, and the first book that I read is Never Never by Colleen Hoover and Tarryn Fisher. This book is about this couple named Charlie and Silas, and one day they just forget their lives, they forget who they are, they forget each other, they forget their friends and family, and they're just trying to figure out what happened to them, and they're trying to figure out details about their lives. I definitely really like the mystery aspect of this book because Charlie and Silas have no idea what happened to them. Especially towards the end of the story, they're getting closer to what happened to them, and it was just too short. Just when things were getting good, it ended. I feel like a lot of people say that this book was too short and that's why they didn't rate it as high, and I felt the exact same way. I ended up giving this book a 3.5 out of 5 stars. There is a part 2 to this book, and I believe that's coming out in May. I'm definitely going to be reading the second book because I do want to know what happens next. The next book that I read, I also read on my iPad, and that is Wait for You by J. Lynn, aka Jennifer L. Armentrout. This book is about a girl named Avery who goes to college in a different state, and she runs into this guy named Cam. She and Cam become partners in their astronomy class, and they instantly hit it off. Like with all Jennifer L. Armentrout books, I fly through them, and this was no exception. I really love characters that Jennifer L. Armentrout creates, and in this book I really loved the two main characters, and I really loved Avery's best friend, Britt and Jacob. They were just so funny, and I loved every scene with them in it. Seeing all three of them together brings a smile to my face. Although sometimes Avery frustrated me, I really loved the romance. I love her relationship with Cam. I think Avery and Cam have such great chemistry, and I loved how their relationship developed from just being friends to being a couple throughout the story. And overall, I give this book a 4 out of 5 stars. The next book that I read is The Ruby Circle by Rochelle Mead. This is the 6th and final book in the Bloodline series. I can't really say much without spoiling this book or the series, but I loved it. It was a really satisfying conclusion, and I'm going to miss all the characters. Rochelle Mead is taking a break in the Vampire Academy / Bloodlines world, but I have a feeling she is going to continue it sometime in the future. She even hinted at it in the acknowledgements, and if she does, I have a feeling which character it's going to follow. I'm not going to say it because it's a spoiler, but if you read this book, you might know too. And I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. Then I read Through the Evernight by Veronica Rossi. This is the second book in the Under the Never Sky trilogy, and I really enjoyed it. While I was reading it, I was just saying to myself, why didn't I read this book sooner? Because I was flying through this book. It was really engaging, and I did not want to put it down. Since it has been a while since I've read Under the Never Sky, I had a feeling that I might not enjoy this book as much, but I enjoyed this book way more than I did with Under the Never Sky. I love the character and plot developments, and I really like how this book ended. It wasn't a cliffhanger, but it was a really nice stopping point, and I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. And the last book that I read in February is Chasing Power by Sarah Beth Durst. This book is about a girl named Kayla who has telekinesis powers, and then she runs into a guy named Daniel who has the power to teleport anywhere. Daniel basically blackmails Kayla to help him find his mom who's been kidnapped, and they go on an adventure, and that's pretty much what the story is about. To be honest, I was pretty disappointed by this book. I couldn't really get into the story, and I didn't like any of the characters. I liked the fact that Kayla had this magical ability. Yes, she has telekinesis. It's not that original. I'm fine with stories that aren't that original, but as long as there's something about the characters that make them stand out or unique. And there's nothing about Kayla that I found to be unique or that made her stand out from other characters that I've read about. And I also just didn't like Daniel as a character. I thought he was kind of irrational, and he just does things without thinking about the consequences. Sometimes Daniel says things that are kind of inappropriate, not necessarily in a sexual way, but in a wrong moment type of way, if that makes sense. Also, the romance between them was really rushed and not believable at all. One second Kayla feels nothing about Daniel, and the next she's describing his appearance and talking about how she wants to touch him or kiss him, and every time something romantic like that would occur, I just rolled my eyes because I just couldn't believe it. I ended up giving this book a 2 out of 5 stars, and I will leave the link to the Bookbusters live show. Okay, I lied, because the first book that I read in February was not Never Never. It was actually These Broken Stars by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. As I was about to take a picture for my thumbnail by gathering all the books, I realized that I forgot to mention this book, and I don't know how that happened, but now I'm mentioning it. And These Broken Stars was the first book that I read in February. This book is about a girl named Lilac and Tarver who were in this spaceship that crashes and they are the only survivors. So this is a survival story. Throughout the story, they're just trying to survive. I really like the premise of this book, and I thought the world was really intriguing. I liked the characters and I did like the romance. This book did take me a while to get into because it was pretty slow and there were parts that confused me, especially the ending. So that made it a little bit less enjoyable, and I ended up giving this book a 3.5 out of 5 stars. That is all that I've finished in February, but I do want to mention that I'm 230 pages in Native Son by Richard Wright, and this is a book for school, and surprisingly I'm really enjoying it so far. Normally I don't really enjoy school books as much. I end up really disliking a lot of the school books that I read, but I'm actually really enjoying this book so far. That's it for my February wrap up. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you've read any of the books that I've read, let me know in the comments below so we can discuss it. Thanks for watching this video. I will see you guys next time. Bye!